So these are Bic gel pens. All I did was snap the little handle off. The little nub, I just took my Dremel on a lower speed and sanded it down until I felt that it was flat. Clean off the pen with a little bit of alcohol so you get all of your fingerprints and all of the dust from the sanding off, and you start with a nice clean pen. A nice even layer of UV resin. I cured mine after the first layer. You don't necessarily have to do that. I liked the thought of doing it a nice even coat at first. I then put another layer of resin on and used that as the glue to add my glitter. You're going to want to cure it after you put on the glitter, right before this step. Cure it again. When it's all done and cured, I took my X-Acto knife, or you can take your Scotty peeler, and I just peeled off the excess UV resin that was hanging off. Put the pen back together the way you took it apart. And that's it. I only put one coat of UV resin over my pen, and I feel it's very sufficient to cover it. There's no bumps or anything. So for these little phone grips, I wanted to show how you can make them using 3 different bases. This one I used paint from Pop of Color as my glue. Cover it with glitter. This one will not need a second layer of glitter. This one I did with Mod Podge. So Mod Podge was my glue, I put my glitter on. This one will need a second layer of glitter, so I will have to wait for this to dry and do another layer of Mod Podge and then glitter on it before I can seal this one. This one I did with UV resin. You will not need another coat at all. I used UV resin as the glue and then just put the glitter right on top of it. The only big difference between the 3 is after the UV resin one, you're going to want to cure it right away while the other 2 dry. I put my top coat on all 3 and cured them for 120 seconds. In these ones, I'm taking the UV resin and I'm just mixing in some micas. I'm mixing a pretty iridescent white with a hot pink right inside the resin, and then I'm going to pour it right inside the mold. Make sure you spread it out in all the little corners. This one I wanted to try something different. I took my paintbrush and just painted in the mica on the mold like I have done in the past with epoxy. And then I'm just going to pour the UV resin right on top. I put this under my UV lamp, 120 seconds on the top, and then you'll be able to flip it and you'll be able to cure the bottom for the same amount of time. You can use UV resin as the glue to put the clip right onto the back of your hair barrette or whatever it is that you have just pulled out of your mold. You can also use a strong glue, but I prefer UV resin. I just threw it under my lamp. This one I put in for 30 seconds and it was perfect. These are some great crafts that you can do at home with UV resin.